I'm in a tough spot and could use some outside perspective. My cousin Emma and I have never been particularly close, but we've always been civil. When she got engaged in December 2022, I sent her a thoughtful present, which she thanked me for repeatedly. Fast forward to 3 months ago, and Emma invited me to her wedding. Living abroad and starting a new job, I made it clear that I needed advance notice to attend, and thankfully I managed to make it. Emma asked me to be a part of her wedding entry, and despite our not being very close, I agreed, hoping it would help us build a better relationship. However, just a week before the wedding, I found out she'd been talking negatively about me and my career as a project manager. It stung, but I didn't want to cause drama before her big day, so I kept quiet. During the wedding weekend, I helped Emma get dressed for her Hindu ceremony, and her mom told me to leave the jewelry as she would handle it later. So I only packed away the bangles. The entry went smoothly, and I attended the reception without any complaints. However, after the wedding, I chose not to leave a gift, intending to address the hurtful comments privately after the festivities. Days later, Emma asked me about the missing jewelry, and I told her I hadn't touched it beyond what her mom instructed. Later that day, I saw Emma posting on Facebook about missing jewelry and implying that someone in the family might have taken it. I felt uneasy, especially since her mom and I were the only family members helping her get dressed. Then things escalated when her sister commented on the post, saying we didn't like her anyway. Her mom reached out to me, asking about the bangles, which made me feel like they were singling me out. Even my grandmother called, further cementing that they may have discussed me as a suspect. Finally, another cousin messaged me, saying the jewelry was found boxed up in a car. But Emma refuses to retract her accusations online because she's embarrassed. Feeling betrayed, I cut Emma and her mom out of my life. I deleted them from my socials and blocked their numbers. My grandma's upset, saying I was unfair for not explaining myself. So am I the idiot for cutting them off without explanation? Should I have handled the situation differently? Not the idiot. They said you stole. Stuff was found. They owe you a massive public apology. Tell Grandma to talk with them, as they're the only ones at fault. They sound like exactly the kind of people to go no contact with. Personally, I would shame them on their social media and then block them, but that's just me. Also, the talking negatively about your job sounds like jealousy to me. Keep them out of your life. I'd go on social media with, heard you found your missing jewelry in your own car of all places. So crazy. I also heard you were too ashamed of your wildly off-base accusations to apologize. I'm curious if you'd clear it up on social media. You know, since you were so public about your accusations, you should also rescind them publicly. Then block her so she can't delete the comment from her page and remains there for everyone else to see. As I said before, who the heck needs enemies when you've got relatives like this? LP is a much better person than me because I'd shame her on social media too. The whole family sounds horrible if they were all willing to blame OP for something without any proof. In fact, the OP should just roast all of their bony, shriveled up butts as publicly as they all blamed her instead of just the bride. Everyone has relatives they can do without. I-20 male never really liked the first name my parents gave me, William. I grew up around kids with names I found way cooler, like Hendrix, Hunter, Orion, Forrest, River, Indigo, Ryder, etc. Not that I was the only kid with a normal or a classic name, but I would say that those with weird or unusual names way outnumbered us in my school. I was always jealous, but I always knew my mom loved my name so much, and I knew it would upset her if I tried changing it. So I never used my nickname at home, which was Jet. A part of me always wished I could just go by Jet, but I decided not to rock the boat or upset my mom. But then a year ago, my mom found out about the nickname and scolded me for using it and introducing myself to new people as Jet. She was such an idiot about it. And then she told me I should be grateful for her decision to give me a nice classic name, because look at how ridiculous my two best friends sound with their first names. And I told her I was jealous of them. She said they're jealous of me, and I was too young to see it. I told her she should try asking my best friends that, because I know for a fact they love their names. Mom called me all kinds of names and told me she would never allow me to change my name anyway. She demanded I stop going by Jet. It annoyed me so much, and after a few weeks of thinking about our argument and looking at the reasons I kept William instead of changing it to Jet, I realized she really didn't deserve that consideration, given her reaction to me having a nickname and her thinking she could just make that decision for me. I was 19 at this point. So I saved money and then petitioned to change my first name legally to Jet. I kept my middle name the same, but dropped William completely. It became official a few weeks ago, and my mom was furious when all my new documents came in and she realized I hadn't lied and had officially gone through with the name change. She told me I'd ruined my life and disrespected her by changing the name she gave me, which she felt suited me best. I told her I never liked my name. She told me it should have grown on me because William is such a nice, normal name. She's still angry about it, and I expected that, but she really believes I'm in the wrong for going ahead with it. So, am I the idiot? Mom called me all kinds of names. Sure, it's fine when she wants to use something other than William, but it's World War III when you do? You are not the idiot. A name is a gift given to a child to be used as they see fit as they grow older. It's not a gift that comes with terms and conditions. You're not an extension of your mom, nor does she have any rule over your autonomy. My uncle made my grandmother walk out of Thanksgiving one year when he pranked her that he was naming his first son Van. His last name is DeLizer. Van DeLizer? He was not, in fact, naming his son that, but he got his wife to play along with the prank, and my grandmother was ready to call the church on him. He's definitely my favorite uncle. You are the idiot. Likely an unpopular opinion, but this was an extremely childish reason to change your name. You didn't think it sounded cool? Take it from someone born with a weird name. You'll get crap about it for the rest of your life. People will not take you seriously. Finding a job will be harder. People will assume things about you, especially because you picked it out yourself. Jet sounds exactly like what a 20-year-old would pick out. Not that it's a bad name per se, but you'll get crap about it because it sounds like the main character in an edgy young adult teen fiction novel. Yeah, agree. I know a bunch of people who change their names as adults, so I keep reading to see what the new name was, and I was like, yeah, the person who picked that was definitely in his teens when he picked it. It's gonna age like a barbed wire bicep tattoo. I, 21 female, was introduced to a woman, 30s, at my younger brother's baseball game. She's related to one of the players. I have a 3-letter name, which is fortunately not common or overused, but it's not weird at all. It's easily pronounced. This woman frowned when I introduced myself and said, "What a strange name. I wouldn't name my child that." I was shocked to hear this from someone, since my name is lovely. But even worse, the woman has a very basic, overused name. Think Maddie, Kate, etc. So she's not someone who should be judging names. I laughed incredulously and said, at least my parents cared enough to come up with something original and not a name every other kid on the playground probably has. That was probably embarrassing growing up. And genuinely, I'd be embarrassed to have such a basic, boring name as this woman. No hate for people with overused names. She was very offended and started gossiping with the moms near me. My mom said I shouldn't have said that since it is a traveling team, so we have to spend the weekend with these people. But she privately agreed that the woman's name is dumb and overused and said herself, that lady's parents didn't love her enough to put some thought into her name. Am I the idiot? I'm sorry, are you really saying that having a common name indicates not being loved? What in the heck? I'm absolutely flabbergasted. Having a common name has nothing to do with love. That's just spiteful. You are the idiot. You didn't like this woman being rude and judgmental about your name, so you were rude and judgmental about her name? You were so close to being the better person here, and you couldn't. Dude, I don't understand your reasoning of having a common name equals your parents didn't love you. The opposite could be true. If your parents give you an odd or unique name, it could be argued they don't love you enough to spare you from being bullied and having people comment on your name, which is literally what happened to you in this story. Many countries don't allow people to name children weird names. It's literally illegal. I, 45 female, broke up with my ex, 47 male, 7 years ago after being together for 12 years due to infidelity on his part. We have a tween and a toddler together. I'll explain that later. My ex has been with Nina, 29, fake name, for 4 years. So yes, my ex and I had our youngest while they were together, but ultimately she forgave him, and it's not my problem. Both my children love her. Nina's the free spirit type. She's nearly always on vacation or hiking or whatever it is that she does. She's an artist. Her hobbies don't bother me. My children enjoy going on the trips, and I like knowing they're getting those experiences. But the point is, she's flighty, irresponsible, and forgetful. You may ask how I know this. My ex texts me 9 times out of 10 when she's doing something to upset him. Usually he's in the wrong anyway, like expecting her to cancel a trip because he had hurt himself, which ended up being like a paper cut. Nina doesn't know he texted me, and I see no point in sharing. Well, my eldest recently told me that Nina's pregnant, so I congratulated her, and we spoke briefly about motherhood. I said I was surprised she's having a baby, as she doesn't seem like the motherly type. She didn't respond. Ex texted me to say I'm out of order. I said I didn't mean it to sound rude, although it's ironic he's texting me about it when all he does is complain about her. My eldest is also upset with me, claiming he heard his dad because Nina didn't tell him, and it's mean because Nina is nice. I apologized, but still no response. My friends say I've put Nina through what my husband put me through, and I'm just a nasty person sometimes. I apologized, and I just meant it as a passing comment. Am I the idiot? How on earth could saying someone doesn't seem like the motherly type to a pregnant lady be anything than off the charts rude? You're basically questioning her ability to mother while she's carrying a child? Geez, what an awful thing to say to a pregnant woman who's been helping taking care of your children for 4 years. And while taking care of her kids, including a child that resulted from their affair. You are the idiot. I believe in the moment you let your animosity towards your ex and what he did to you and your children get the best of you. Of course, all types of people can be great parents. Yes, even artsy, free-spirited types. You made a callous and spiteful statement. You probably need to expand your apology to Nina by explaining where it was coming from and what your ex did to you. Maybe you can save this situation by doing that. Nina did nothing to you. Your ex did. OP also cheated with him and had another child when he was with the other girl, so she's also in on the infidelity party they're all having. OP broke up because he cheated, then turned around and helped him cheat on another woman. That's really mature, OP. Super mature. You're the idiot for more than just that, though. My God, you and your ex suck. Nina sounds fantastic. I'm a father to a 22-year-old daughter. We lost her mom to a DUI in 2018. Her mom was very career-oriented and always pushed her to go to college and get a high-paying job. She also bought all of her clothes and made sure she looked presentable. After her mom died, her grades began plummeting out of control to the point where she risked not passing most of her classes. I had tried filling that role to give her that push, but it only made her more distant and stubborn. She grew very resentful and depressed, to where I feared I'd lose her too. It was a very emotionally turbulent period, but she eventually opened up and revealed that she felt lost because she spent her whole life following her mom's expectations, and now that she was gone, she didn't feel like she had any direction or identity of her own to go forward. After that, my main priority shifted towards helping her discover herself and find autonomy, and part of that included going to the mall and giving her the freedom to choose whatever she wanted to wear. She gravitated towards more outlandish styles than anything her mom had ever chosen for her. Fishnet, leather, plaid skirts, belts, etc., and started experimenting with vibrant hair color and styling it into a mohawk. I figured it was a phase, but she really found herself in this identity. Nowadays, she makes many of her designs and gets excited to send me pictures of herself when she makes a new fashion that she wants to share with me. This put her in a much better emotional place, but her grades never returned to what they once were. She got rejected by the colleges she had applied for, and that's around when the global issue hit, so she opted out of pursuing college. I said she could stay with me for as long as she needed, and she's still here to this day. The conflict. Her maternal grandmother called me the other day. I guess someone had posted a photo of a protest on social media that my daughter could be seen in, and that set her off on me. She claimed that I'd betrayed my daughter's memory and that her grandkids should have been graduating college this year and moving out on her own with a good man. Because she now looks like a delinquent, she's ruined any chance of having a stable life, a respectable job, or a good husband, that she's been set up for failure, doesn't surround herself with people who'll push her to grow, and will be stuck living with me. I should have taken charge instead of letting her make these decisions when she was so young, vulnerable, and confused. Her words have been eating away at me and left me questioning if there's merit. I do have doubts and worry about her being well off and having enough security for the future, and she has missed opportunities because of how she presents herself, but I'm still proud of who she's become. Am I the idiot for encouraging her and enabling her punk outlook, rather than working to set her on the more lucrative path her mother had always dreamed for her? Not the idiot. Of course, it's awful that your wife's not around to share your parenting of your marvelous daughter. Still, you have done the right thing in helping her follow her path and maintaining a good relationship with her. Your mother-in-law is exhibiting a classic case of drive-by parenting. I suspect she didn't care to help you and your daughter on your healing journey over the last 6 years. She's lost any right to comment on the destination by not sharing in that journey. It may very well be that your late wife would not have approved of your daughter's choices. Let's be honest. But one thing about being dead is that you don't get to vote. It may also be that she would have found a way to accommodate herself to the reality that you're raising a human being and not a parental aspiration. In short, well done for what you've done, and feel free to tell your mother-in-law to take her insecurities to people who care about them.